Finally, a tutorial! What's up, epic gamers? My name is Skybreak, and today we will be breaking down a track called Summit off of my album with Keskuda, Above the Clouds. Let's start off with this. Having a story to work with for an album is a very dated process, dating back to like the 70s. Not many people do it anymore. But it's one that was absolutely integral for the writing process of Above the Clouds. Our creative decisions while writing were definitely influenced to give our unnamed protagonist a unique voice that lasts throughout the album. This is the part of the story after the low point that reflection establishes, where our protagonist suddenly gets a rush of determination to rush to the end of the trail to prove her inner demons wrong. Hugo and I knew we wanted to end off the album with two tracks that truly juxtaposed each other, this of course being the more powerful of the two. We also knew beforehand we also wanted to have a big drum solo in the track, with kind of a bit of a do-it-yourself recording feel to it, which I think was established pretty well. But enough prelude, let's get into the heckin' song. Now please do note, I am on my new laptop, and some of the plugins I can't download anymore, namely Ozone Imager 1. So the mix is not going to be one-to-one, but I tried to make it as close to one-to-one as it could be. So yeah, let's get right into it. So let's start off with the bass design. That's the drop. This bass here is 3 layers, if I can get into them. 4 layers, my bad, if you include the sub. And our idea for this song was, rather than modern dubstep, which is typically starts from already complex wavetables that are eventually filtered and processed, we wanted to take a different approach. We started with the philosophy of having pure sounds, like for example, this is a saw wave, melded into more complex sounds later on. For example, if I were to remove all of the effects here, it's just a 3x oscillator patch. Whoa, I actually forgot. Yeah, let me solo that. Yeah, it's literally a saw wave with a little bit of noise. But if you slowly add on the effects, I believe I threw a vocoder on it. This is the thing that really gives it the movement. Yes, this is a criminal EQ shape, but I assure you it does the job. So we're automating something that I've called the scream filter, which is essentially a high-pass filter, but it's got a very, very, very sharp peak on the side of it. So it creates a bit of a vowel-y movement to it. Already we're starting to meld in something cool. Then I threw it through a Camel Fat 3 preset called Fat Me Up. Yeah, sometimes it peaks a lot more than it should, but when you put it through compression, it all kind of flattens to the same volume, which is the effect we wanted. So we put through some distortion, OTT, chorus. Actually, if I were making this track now, I would turn down the chorus a little bit. Then another OTT, bit crusher. Very, very faint bit crusher. I've actually been doing this a lot on basses. If you just put a little bit, add some high-end artifacts that sound really crunchy. So then there's another EQ that just takes out some of the harshness around 300 hertz. Then, of course, the Ozone Imager. And then that's just layered with a gritty bass layer, which plays on the first beat, a sub, and this, which adds some fuzzy high end because some of the effects kind of took out some high end, so I wanted to add some back, kind of almost circuit noisy sounding shit like this. So let me go into that patch so you guys can see this. Yeah, this is literally a 3x oscillator, saw wave, noise. And the noise has like 2% volume. And I believe the mid... Yeah, this is the mid bass. This is a serum patch. Oh, I guess you could change this. I believe we just drew the shape in. So it's half flat on the top, then down, then that, and that. But really, you can do just about anything. I believe this is just more in the OTT and stuff like that. So let's unmute everything. Maybe we should even put on the effects, that might be cool. Does this just disappear? stupid ass plugin. So the next thing I wanted to talk about was this boy here. As many of you may know, anyone who's listened to Above the Clouds notices that we took a little bit too much inspiration from Lena Raine's Celeste soundtrack. And honestly, you're not wrong. But I felt obliged to teach you all the basic philosophy behind the sounds that she uses. So if we were to go into this, we're using massive wavetables because she uses massive, but I don't own massive, unfortunately. So let's mute the effect. So what we're doing is we're using 3 distinct layers, each at a different octave. First, we're doing this little sine squarey thing. That's at a high octave. That's going to fill out the high register. Then below that, there's just a little bit of a sine triangle. This is another wavetable. And they're all about at the halfway point. And then the thing that really gives the beef to the sound, if you enable the sub-oscillator and put on a square and bring it down, it creates a... I'm not exactly sure why this is. I think the human ear hears all these sounds as at different octaves as kind of its own bizarre octave. I'm not really sure about the psychoacoustics of it, but hey, it sounds cool. It sounds emotional. Oh, and the most important feature is you're going to automate the fine tune of 2 of the oscillators, so it kind of gives it that warbly tape recorder effect. Adds some nostalgic character. And then I threw it through a ton of effects. So I have an ozone imager to give it some width. If I can just enable these, disable the effects. Threw it through camel fat. This is going to give it some big distorty, tube distorty character. OTT to tone it down, and some reverb. So that's fucked high. That's fucked low end. So we're gonna high pass that. Some delay, and then all the effects, and you just get it. There you go. Okay, so another cool thing, one thing that's cool about this project is in the build-up, we didn't use ordinary risers. One of my favorite samples here is actually a sample of Sekai, my bud. Many of you have probably heard of him. He's a very successful producer. We took a sample of him saying, let me send this to its own track. Yeah, we just kind of half-assed the organization at that point. Yeah, we just took this sample, and we stretched it out, like, and put it through some reverb. We automated the volume to the beat, pitched it up, put some, and the reverb kind of shuts off over time. What do you know, a riser? It was pretty goofy. We got a few friends to do some, like we got this one. Hey, I did one. I'm really scared to mute these effects. But let's hear them. Yeah. So, yeah, let's put that back where it used to be. Oh, fuck. Where did it used to be? Whoops. I guess we're taking that out. Yeah, let's pretend that wasn't there. We got the owner Vexabolt to do one as well. So, it sounds like a riser. It's not, but it is. What else did I want to go into? Oh yes, the drum layers. So many people have asked about the drum solo, which we'll get to in a little bit. But for now, I'm going to show you what we did in this intro bit. Because right at this part, it's just like everywhere. But there's a bit of a method to the madness. So we have this orchestral kick. These are all Kashmir samples, some of these. That's a clap. Oh, this one I actually recorded. This is pretty cool. So it's an egg shaker. Oh, fuck, where is it? Yeah, I used to have an egg shaker. So a lot of these layers I actually recorded myself using little percussion trinkets. I just love them. I think they have a lot of character. Weird vocodery thing. I did a lot of these in different projects purely because my old computer couldn't handle this, but thank God I have a new one. And it's a bongo. It's another one. As you can see, there's just a ton of layers, and they all kind of come together. Just get creative with drums, honestly. If you place weird little things that just juxtapose on different beats, even if the samples themselves suck ass, altogether it'll just make the listener go, whoa, what's going on? It's just kind of cool. Actually, can we mute the sidechain and solo the drums? Wow, someone forgot to sidechain something. Whatever. Yeah, it's fun to just mess around with that kind of thing. But let's get to the drum solo, the part you are all curious about. This is a Klav sample. I just totally scourged my basement, and this is a fun thing to do. If you can record it, do record it, because it adds a lot of character. I believe that you can process any sound enough to sound like it was recorded in a professional studio. I believe that's not what I'm doing here because I did it in a different project. But yeah, a lot of these are samples, but some of them are self-recorded, and altogether they sound pretty cool. So yes. Alright, that's about it. So this was a bit of a short breakdown, but I believe that I showed you guys what's kind of integral to that above the clouds sound, and I hope you guys kind of got a bit of philosophy for behind the track. So if you enjoyed that video, press the subscribe button. Let me know what kind of tutorials you guys want to see on here. And other than that, pre-save the Above the Clouds remixes, or maybe they're out by now. It depends how long my editor takes. So stream them if they are out. Give me money. Goodbye.